Hello, Paul Estrada and Leon Chang here, co-owners of CrossFit Elysium here in San Diego, coming at you with our strategies and tips video for CrossFit Open Workout 15.4. When our video is done, make sure to head over to CrossFitElysium.com for all of our strategies and tips videos for the CrossFit Open 2015.
So this week's workout is an 8-minute AMRAP. The rep scheme is a little bit complicated. It starts off with 3 handstand push-ups and 3 cleans at 185 for men and 125 pounds for women. And from that point on, the handstand push-ups increase by 3 reps every round, and the cleans increase by 3 reps every 3 rounds. So it proceeds 3 and 3, 6 and 3, 9 and 3, then 12 and 6, so on and so forth.
So 15.4 is predominantly a handstand push-up based workout. It's 8 minutes, so it's a pretty short sprint type of workout with the power cleans, not as high rep as the handstand push-ups, so the main focus is going to be on getting through those as best possible. So for just about everyone, or for everyone, regardless of how good you are at handstand push-ups, you're going to want to kick from the very, very beginning. Make sure you're using your legs as much as possible, so that way your shoulders don't burn out. They're going to have better endurance throughout the workout.
So in terms of the movement standard and the measurement standard that HQ threw at us, first in terms of pure logistics for setting up for the WOD, you're going to want to measure out everything pre-WOD. Okay, so demarcate the line as HQ has instructed, and then what we're going to advise is you actually kick up to the wall, have a buddy help you. You're going to widen up your hand placement as wide as it can go to still allow your heels to be over the line that you've previously determined as HQ has asked us to do. So once you do that, you should also mark on the ground that maximum hand width that you've got to play with. That way when you're actually in the middle of the workout, you don't have to guess how wide your hands can be. You already know this is the maximum width I can use and still be able to get credit for my reps. So we're actually going to go ahead and drop a knowledge bomb on you guys now. Moving forward, kind of more generally where the competitive CrossFit world is going, this is actually a pretty cool standard, and we wouldn't be surprised to see it show up from here on out in terms of like major CrossFit competitions. So before, there was always an objective width maximum for a handstand push-up that would affect short people like myself and tall people like Paul in different ways. So using myself as an example, in the past, handstand push-ups have always been very easy for me, and it's always easy for me to put my hands within whatever their maximal allowable width is because I have short arms. However, for somebody like Paul, the handstand push-ups are always a little more difficult, and they'll be relatively narrow for him with a maximum standard that's simply set for all individuals. This new method allows HQ to put that max width a little more relative to actually what your height is. It might seem like a height requirement, but it's actually a width requirement / limiter. So for shorter people like myself, we actually played around with this on the wall. It's pretty difficult for me. I don't have much wiggle room at all to widen up my hand placement from what I typically do. However, Paul, he actually had a lot of play. He was able to widen up his hand placement significantly, and his handstand push-ups were easier for him than they've been. So moving forward, it's something that competitive CrossFitters are going to want to consider, and especially for you taller, longer limb dudes, hey, your world may have just gotten a lot easier with handstand push-ups.
So with those handstand push-ups, just like a lot of the gymnastic movements we've seen in the prior weeks, this week's going to be all about not going to failure and having a pace. So if you have a really high rep max on your handstand push-ups, figure out your rep breaks. Based on that, if you're newer to handstand push-ups and there's still a struggling point, make sure you don't try and max out every set. Because as soon as you start failing, it's going to take a lot longer to recover and get back to the next set. As far as breaking up the handstand push-ups, if all you need is a breath or two real quick before you go into that next rep, consider staying at the bottom of that headstand. Don't come off the wall because that's going to add extra seconds to the reset time. On the other hand, if you're hanging out in the bottom of the headstand for 8-10 seconds breathing, just with all that weight on your neck, you're not doing your body any help. Drop off the wall, get a full rest, and then kick back up for the next reps.
Lastly, as far as the clean, there's really not all that much to say other than keep it fast, regardless of who you are. So if you can do tap and goes, go ahead and do those. If quick singles are more your thing and will keep you moving, then we're going to recommend those. The only thing we want to say with the tap and go is they should be true tap and goes. The bar should be on your shoulder just long enough to get your elbows in front of the bar, stand tall, full extension, and get credit for the rep. If you find yourself resting with the barbell on your shoulders for any significant period of time, drop the bar, go to singles. The reason we're saying that is because that front rack position is fairly taxing on your shoulders in a different way than the handstand push-ups will be. And as Paul has alluded to, we want to do everything we can to save our shoulders for the handstand push-ups. So tap and go only if they're real tap and goes. The default movement choice for the clean for everyone should be a power clean. It's going to be the most efficient and least taxing on your body. The only reason anyone should squat clean this way is if you are physically unable to power clean.
Thanks for stopping by this week. Make sure to head over to CrossFitElysium.com to check out all of our strategies and tips videos for CrossFit Open 2015. Leave some comments, let us know how you're doing.